Hello dear students, and welcome to English for Palestine, class 12. Today we are going to work on Unit 2 in Pupil's book, and it will be under pressure, page 16, text 2. Now, for our learning objectives for this part, we have many learning objectives. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to A. Answer comprehension questions about the reading text. Next, identify the main ideas of the paragraphs of the text. And finally, identify some pronoun references in the reading text. Paragraph 1. First of all, we're going to have a definition of the word poll. Now, what is a poll? It is a sampling or a collection of opinions on a subject taken by a random group of people for the purpose of analysis. This is the meaning of poll taken from a dictionary, not from your book. Now, for the first paragraph, of course, we have main idea or ideas. So, the main ideas for this text is number 1, the results of the new poll, and number 2, comparison between the new poll and the previous one, which means the previous one, the previous poll. Now, for the first paragraph, of course, you have to read now this text for about 5 minutes, all right? And then you're going to answer the following questions. Now, the questions are, what was the question of the poll? 2, what do the results of the new poll indicate, or let's see, show? And number 3, how is this poll compared with the previous one? Is compared with the previous poll. All right? I think you have already finished reading. So now let's come back. I'm going to the answers. So let's go to question number 1. What was the question of the poll? Okay? And the answer is, what are people worried about? And you can find this over here. What they were most worried about. And of course, when they say they talk about young people, all right? Or people aged between 14 and 18. Now let's move to the second question. What do the results of the new poll indicate or show? They show that financial problems have taken over from the environment in the last 15 years. And of course, that's going to be the whole paragraph is about it. But first, we're going to say the results of the new poll show that financial problems have taken over the environment as the main concerns for young people. All right? Now, for the last question, number 3, how is this poll compared with the previous one? The old one showed that the environmental worries came first, whereas the new poll shows financial problems come first. And you can see this compares with the similar polls in the last 15 years when environmental worries came first. And now let's move to our next part of our questions, which is complete. Now, complete the following sentences with information from the paragraph. Number 1. Previous similar polls show that was first. What was the first position in this poll, came into this poll? Now, 2. Nowadays, financial problems are for the young people. Okay? Now, I think you have read this text. So now let's go to the answers. Previous similar polls show that environment. So as you can see, here we have the main verb have taken over from the environment. Okay? Which was number 1. Now, 2. Nowadays, financial problems are for young people, which is the answer. And the answer is main concerns, also in the main line for young people. Now, number 3, the survey asked people who aged. Again, we're talking about the survey. The survey, it is the poll, another meaning of poll or study or research. Now, The survey asked people who aged, how old these people who have been asked to finish or to fill in the poll. They have been between 14 and 18 years old, and what they were most worried about. And you can find this, people aged between 14 and 18 years old and what they were most worried about. And now let's move to the final part of our questions for today, which is the references, pronoun references. Now, after reading the same paragraph, we are going to answer the question for the following question. What do the following refer to? Number 1, they, line 3. And as you can see, here it is. Number 2, this, also in line 4. Here it is. Now, I think you have already read this one. Now let's move and see the answers. They, line 3, refers to over 12,000 people aged between 14 and 18, or the people who answered the survey. And as you can see over here, like this one. Now, number 2, this, which is the demonstrative pronoun, and it refers to the clear winner was finding a job while environment came 7th. And of course, as you can see, here it is our answer. Finally, we got into our final part of this learning situation, which is the task. As you can see, we have a few questions for you to do at home after reading the first paragraph. The first one is A. Say whether the following sentences are true or false. Number B. Complete the following sentences, of course, from the paragraph. And finally, number C. Choose the correct meaning of the following word survey. Thank you very much for watching and hope to see you soon.